So today we are going to talk about multiplication as repeated addition. Multiplication is something that most of you probably feel pretty good about, but we started out learning how to multiply based on repeated addition. So people are going to typically struggle with multiplication if they don't know how to add, because all multiplication is addition over and over and over again. There are 5 rows of desks with 6 desks in each row. How many desks are there in all? So if I were to use repeated addition for this problem, I'm going to count how many desks I have in each row. So if I have 6 here, plus 6 here, plus 6 here, plus 6 here, plus 6 more, then that means that I have a total of how many desks?
30.
30. Okay, right here in this note off to the side, it gives us a definition of an array. You're going to have this in your practice in just a little bit, so you need to make sure you understand that an array is a rectangular arrangement of numbers or symbols, just like what we have here with all of the desks. This is an array. You can also arrange numbers as well in this same format, or maybe an X, or maybe a circle. You can put whatever you want and arrange it in an array. Okay, so if I have something that looks like this, it says change this addition problem to a multiplication problem. I've got 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7. Okay, instead of adding 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7, what could I do? Paige.
7 times 4 equals 28.
7 times 4. So much easier. And we know 7 times 4 is equal to 28. If I wanted to solve that repeated addition problem, I could group like this. This is 14 plus another 14, just to kind of consolidate it a little bit better. But we know that when we see the same thing added over and over again, we can make it a whole lot quicker and shorter just by multiplying. Next, we're going to be talking about adding and subtracting dollars and cents. So when we talk about adding dollars and cents, what is involved in our numbers now? It's not just a whole number. What do we have?
Cents.
We have cents. Okay, and what separates the dollars and the cents? A decimal point. Okay, so decimal point is kind of like whenever we line up our numbers, we're going to line up our digits, and we're going to make sure we also line up our decimal points. Okay, we have to line up a decimal point, because if we don't, then we're going to end up having our dollars and our cents all mixed up, and we're not going to have the right answer. So if I wanted to add $3.45 and $6.23 and 50 cents, I want to make sure that I have 50 cents over here, but what have I forgotten?
All the labels for the numbers.
Are you talking about the dollar signs?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can put my dollar signs. I've forgotten something else.
A decimal point.
A decimal point right here. Okay, that is super important. Okay, otherwise it looks like $50, and if that's the case, I should have moved it over to my dollar side. Okay, so I'm adding 50 cents. So when I add all these together, now I just have a normal addition problem. You don't do anything with the decimal, but just keep it exactly where it is. So when I add these up, I end up with $10.18. If I subtract, same rules apply. You have to line up your decimal point. If you don't, you're risking solving for the wrong answer. So we have $4.50 minus $3.80. Okay, a little bit of borrowing is involved. So this is going to become 15. This becomes 3. 15 minus 8 is 7. And I'm going to end up with 70 cents. You have a couple different ways you can write your answer when you're talking about cents. You can either do a dollar sign and a 0 with a decimal and 70, or you can tell me 70 cents. Either one of these would be perfectly fine. Okay, this next part, yes, I want you to pay attention. So dollars may be written with or without a decimal point. Both of these mean $5. You can see it just like this. You may also see it with a decimal and 2 zeros. Okay, sometimes this is really tricky whenever you are adding or subtracting. If they give you just a dollar amount without the decimal point, you have to be very, very careful that you leave the dollar amount lined up with the dollar section. Okay, remember that decimal point separates our dollars and our cents. We don't want to put the dollars underneath the cents. Okay, so if I have, for example, in the green, it says the amounts shown represent the cost of 4 field trip souvenirs. What's the total cost? So if I made the mistake and I said, okay, I've got one that's $8.75, I've got $5, I've got $10, and then I've got 35 cents. Okay, this is going to give me the wrong answer. Why? Why would this be wrong? Avon?
You have a decimal on some of them, but not on all of them.
Say it again.
You have decimals on some of them, but not on all of them.
I have decimals on some of them, but not on all of them. So how can I fix the ones that don't have a decimal?
You could add a 0 to 5 and then put a decimal on both.
Okay, so if I do that, I'm going to erase these guys. And I'm going to put $5 like this, so that now I have my cents, which is 0 cents. And then I have $10. Is that what you mean? Just like that? Okay, perfect. So now I can add those together, and my total is going to be $24.10. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Is it reasonable?
Yes.
Okay. If I had messed up earlier and made the mistake and added just like this, okay, if I went ahead and added all of this together, I would have $9.25. What I want you to look at is we have $8, $5, $10. Okay, my answer, in order to be considered reasonable, has to be, what is 8 plus 5 plus 10? What's 8 plus 5 plus 10?
8 plus 5 plus 10 is 23.
Okay, so if I have $23 right there just in like whole number amounts, then $9.25 does not make sense, and that would not be reasonable. Okay, you want to make sure that you check your answer for reasonableness. We talked about this the other day. Make sure your answer is reasonable. Okay, here is a word problem where you would possibly have to solve either an addition or subtraction problem involving money. Jana brought a $5 bill to school to pay for lunch. What amount will Jenna, oh, that's funny, her name changed. What? It said Jana first and then Jenna.
Oh.
So what amount will Jenna have left after paying for a lunch that cost $3.25? I want you guys to work this on your whiteboard, and if you are at home, go ahead and pause the video and work this out, and then we'll check it. Okay, so we're gonna go over this one. Most of you guys on your whiteboards, I saw you doing this first. I'm so glad, because otherwise we're gonna end up with a really funny answer if you just put 5 and then minus 3. Some of you may have looked at your problem like, oh yeah, that's right, I gotta put my decimal in my zeros. So 5 decimal point 00 minus 3.25. Once you do that, then you're set up and you can solve it. And you should have had $1.75 for your answer. Okay, your lesson today is on page 91, numbers 1 through 30, the written practice. Please make sure you show your work on your page. And that is it for today.